Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to what's going to be the final episode of Final Fantasy XIII, and for the final episode it's only fitting that we take on two of the kind of hardest bosses in the game, outside of Mission 64. So these are the hardest kind of encounters slash farmable enemies, I guess, that you have in the game. So these are kind of upgraded versions of the Adamantchelid and the Adamantoise, and one is the Shaolong Gui and one is the Longi. So first of all we're going to take on the Shaolong Gui. And this one has almost identical attacks to the Adamantchelid, only they're much more powerful, has a lot more HP, and you know, it's just in general it's going to be harder to take down. So I've got my dream team out as usual, my big time Sentinel Snow. I've got the same stats as Vercingetorix because, like I said to you guys, I'm going to do my best to do no extra grinding or battling to defeat these guys. So maybe if I spent a few hours kind of completing the rest of the Crystarium, this is going to be a pushover. But not only is it still a challenge at this stage, it's also, I just hate grinding in general, so it's going to be a better way for me to do it. So I've got physical protection, earth protection, should be okay. I've upgraded everyone's weapons to decent levels. Fang, of course, has her ultimate weapon. And yeah, I've got my item collector stuff as well, just in case, because it drops dark matters as a rare drop, which is going to be pretty useful. Okay. I think these paradigms should be enough to do the trick. Most of the time, well, pretty much all of the time, I need a medic because its attacks are fairly frequent, and I want to keep attacking while staying healed up. Because no one attack is strong enough to kill me, but they do add up pretty quickly. So it opens up with Quake, which is lovely. So it does about 2,000–3,000 damage. Not too bad. So the stomps are not a problem, but like I said, they will add up if you're not healing. And again, Snow's Fringe Ward will help a little bit as well. 3,000 damage, well done. There's only 8 million more to do. The reason why this battle will take a little bit longer is because I don't have an improved debilitation weapon for Fang. That would have helped. But you can see when it's slowed, it really does get slowed, like big time. Cannot get deep protect on.
Don't get predictable.
Occasionally I'll tortoise it up just so I can make it easier for myself to attack. Alright, here we go. So once that happens, I'll work the gauge a bit. Again, here it would have been perfect if Fang had learned like the strike ability so that I could be up in the air as well. So again, if I'd have invested some more time in earning some CP points, then that would have happened, but with my current stats I don't have it. So when I get close to the stagger, I'm going to switch to this.
Change of plans.
So Snow's going to keep the stagger alive while I get Braverar going. This is a new attack. And you can see it's very powerful. Ultima is an attack that I've never been able to figure out in this game. I honestly don't understand how the damage of Ultima works. Sometimes it'll take like all 10,000 of my HP, sometimes it'll take 4,000. I do not understand how it works. But it's one of the things. You always need to be in Tortoise for it, that's for sure. Okay. Got Braverar for Snow and Fang. Now we can go to work. It's lost slow, but I'm going to keep going because doing damage is more important at this stage. And I'm going to be up in the air for most of the stomps anyway. It still has the Bay attack, and it's going to start to spam it once you get to lower levels, so lower levels of HP I mean. So that's going to be annoying. So it's going to be a case of just kind of doing this over and over until you defeat it pretty much. There's not much more to it. But I'll keep showing it because with this, it's more a case of keeping your focus so that you don't do something silly and die. So you can see that time, it did about 5,500 damage. Doesn't make any sense. Just seems totally arbitrary. The only thing I can think of is maybe it's like distance based or something. So like how physically far away you are from the epicenter of Ultima, that's how much damage it does. I really don't know. But I mean, if you're strong enough to defeat Mission 64, you should not be losing to this guy. So Longi is a bit of a different story, but this guy should be okay. It's going to take a little bit of time because there's no real shortcuts unless you have really supreme strength. There's really not too much that you can do. There's no like poison tricks or death tricks or anything like that. You literally have to do that 8 million damage in order to win.
Here you go.
So it hasn't used Bay yet, but you can rest assured that it's coming.
Back off. Haven't got all day. Change of plans.
Okay, let's get it.
Follow my lead.
Gave it a little bit extra. Don't have haste again, which would have been nice, but again, it's just an ability that I'm lacking right now. I'm always ready in Tortoise for the Bay attack because you get no time to react. There you go.
Don't get predictable.
So you're going to be dazed, but Quake is going to wake you back up. And those two attacks together, even in Tortoise, do about 7,000 damage. So that's why you want to make sure you're in Tortoise for Bay, because if Vanille can't heal in between those two, there is a chance you could die from the Quake afterwards. You got to watch out.
Change of plans.
So I guess depending on your strength, it'll either take 1 or 2 staggers. 3 or 4 if you're at lower levels like me. I think with max characters you could probably do it in 1, maybe 2, if you need it. I guess like in fire could be an option here. So if you play around with that kind of stuff, you can always do a little bit more damage. I mean, if Bay was done at the frequency that you saw like before, it would be fine, but I'm pretty sure like the second, like the lower 50% of its HP, it starts to do it like once every minute at least.
Don't sweat it. Don't get predictable.
Okay, let's go again. Oh shit, this was a bad...
Follow my lead. Don't get predictable.
Again, not too much damage. Got to attack like now.
Change of plans.
I guess having stagger-proof weapons is also a good option here. Because the chain gauge is so high, you could just get it to 500 and just keep attacking it at 500% without having to worry about ever losing the stagger. So, if you have stagger-lock weapons, that could also be an option. Because 500% is more than enough to do some good damage. Again, always ready for Bay. Like now.
Haven't got all day.
So Snow got hit with double the damage there, I think, for some reason. Go. Snow made use of reprieve there. So yeah, that's why Bay just constantly slows you down. If you could push through that, then you'd be able to finish this battle a lot more quickly, but... See, Bay, Ultima, just firing back to back. See, Fang got hit for almost no damage there. It's so inconsistent, I just don't understand Ultima. If someone could explain the mechanics of Ultima to me, I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to try and make this the last stagger if I can. But as far as I know, other than the shot, these guys are like the only source of dark matter in the game. So if you want to farm dark matters for certain equipment, if you're like like treasure collector trophy, or you just need it to upgrade certain weapons, then this is your guy. I had to defeat this guy in chapter 11 in order to
Follow my lead.
get the Wurzite bangle for mission 64, so I for one definitely made use of it.
Don't get predictable.
Need that deep protect on there. This should give me a fighting chance of. There we go.
We gotta win this.
I might wait for Bay and start attacking after Bay
Make
happens,
this easy.
We gotta win this.
because then I'll know for sure that I won't be seeing it for like 60 seconds. So.
This is nothing.
Oh man. Again, this one looked like it landed on snow. Alright. Let's just go for it, man. Go, go, go.
Change of plans.
Ah, fuck. I should have waited for it. I knew it. I should have waited for it.
Back off.
Follow my lead.
So it pretty much wastes about half a stagger gauge. You have to do that.
Change of plans.
I don't think I've got enough to take it down here. Maybe if I had a Genji glove and used High Wind at the end, it would have made a difference. I traded it in for the item collector thing, because I haven't got any dark matters at all in this playthrough so far.
We gotta win this.
Alright, we're almost there.
Shield. Follow my
You
lead.
can see they're really spamming that ultimate and bait.
Back off.
Come on then.
Back off.
But this is going to be the last time. He might even die before I stagger it.
Here we go.
We gotta win this.
Change of plans.
We gotta win this.
Eat this.
Alright, let's go. I'm not going to bother with Braver again. I won't need it. Doesn't have much HP anyway.
Eat this.
Ah.
Follow my lead. Don't get predictable. Change of plans.
Luckily this time I didn't have to deal with days. But you can see, unless you're using commandos with a, you know, over 400% or so, you're really not doing much damage. You can see like 11,000 for snow there,
Follow my lead.
even with Imperil, so it's not great.
We gotta win this.
You can see about 27,000 without Braverar, even at almost 500%. So. Oh, fuck off!
Back off.
Right, this set of attack should finish it off. Yeah. Alright, there we go. It wasn't very pretty, but still a 5-star, I guess. And 60,000 CP, it's not bad. If you get a dark matter for your troubles, it's not too bad either. But no. Okay, so there is only one enemy left in this game that I have not defeated, and it's going to be the enemy with the most HP in the game. So 16 million HP to take out. It's not going to happen with these stats. It'll probably take me hours to do it, so I'm going to have to rely on a little trick to do it. So I'll show you guys that, and hopefully defeat the final enemy in a little bit. Alright, so I have a slightly interesting team setup here. I've got Vanille Fang, which is not interesting, but I've got Saz in there. Why is Saz in there, you might ask? And that's because he can use haste straight off the bat. And he also has in fire and that kind of stuff. So Saz is going to be the man here. So this is the team. These are the paradigms I'm going to use. And I am going to summon, because without summoning, These guys with these stats taking out 16 million HP is just like, nah, it's just too long. And yeah, I'd rather just not deal with it. But this battle is won pretty much like in the first minute or so. It just depends on how you deal with it at the start. So you need to be very careful with your timing here. You've got to make sure you summon and you press select at exactly the right time. So you wait for Saz to actually cast haste on you. As soon as you see the spinning animation, then you can do it. Then your first job is to get that poison on there ASAP. So this is the thing that I mentioned to you guys beforehand with Vercingetorix. So I'm using the same technique on Longi instead. And what you're going to see is also this. So I'll explain that a little bit more when I actually get going. I want to leave the scope just to make sure that Saz does the right thing here and uses in fire and stuff. Now what you want to do before you go into Gestalt mode is get that poison on there for a second time if you can, like now. Because you spend so long in Gestalt mode, poison actually runs out. So, are you ready for it? So now I have a full Gestalt mode here. I wait till the arrow comes down and then I use the chain cannon's attack. At this point, Longi will not get up at all, and let's say you have a 90-second window for it to get up, that window will freeze. So when your summon is out, it will freeze. So let's say it was going to get up in 90 seconds, it's still going to get up in 90 seconds when you're done. So this poison is absolutely going to eat away at this HP. You're going to take away pretty much half or so of the HP. Now that still leaves 8 million, and if you let this guy get up and start stomping and start using Ultima and all that kind of stuff, you're not going to last very long with these stats. So the deal is, basically we have to take out 8 million HP in the space of about 60 seconds to 90 seconds, however long it is. So once that happens, Saz is going to need to haste everyone up. We're going to need to get all the buffs going, we need to get in fire and all that kind of stuff. But the main star of the show, again, is going to be Vanille. And she's going to be helping out with the damage by doing the whole death thing that I showed you guys. So when death doesn't work, it's still a very powerful magic based attack, and when you switch to commando during the animation, it must make use of the commando's higher kind of damage constant, like the higher damage dealing ability. So the damage dealing potential of death is actually multiplied when you do that. Now this all depends on how high your commando level is, and to get Vanille to commando level 3 or higher, you need hundreds of thousands of CP points, which is something that I have not farmed. So she's going to be doing about 250-300,000 damage, but you can push this to about 1 million with every single attack. And with that you can take out Longi very, very easily. With my stats, that's not the same. It's going to be very, very close, because on the one hand Fang is doing her best to deal the damage, and on the other hand Vanille is also using death, but we're going to see. Okay, straight in. Get those debuffs back on. Saz needs to get haste on people. That wasn't very successful. Let's try again. Okay. So you can see 6.7 million still to go. So you can see just how much damage that poison done is insane. So here comes in fire. That's what we were looking for. Fang's going to deal a lot more damage with the help of that. I'm going to keep going, and Fang's going to get Braverar and Faith Row on people. And Saz is helping to build the chain gauge. Everything's looking easy right now, but it's going to get up very soon, so there's going to be very little time to just go all out and attack this thing. Fang uses it on herself last of all, which is a little bit annoying, but we have to wait for it. There we go. Push the gauge. As soon as it staggers, let's begin. So here it comes. Death. Try and pay attention to the damage here. I couldn't see it. I don't know if you could. I might have seen the 500,000, but that might be wrong. Oh, it is 500,000. Okay, so 200,000-300,000. That was before. So you're seeing big time damage here. And it's dead.
hardly worth the effort.
So lots and lots of preparation and just absolute, I mean, the paradigm is called devastation, and that's exactly what we created. So target time of 40 minutes only took me 4 minutes, and I got Platinum Ingot for my troubles. So that was it. It's a wrap, guys. That is all of the post-game of Final Fantasy XIII, pretty much. I can't think of anything else there is to do in this game. We've done all the 64 missions, obviously the whole 5-star thing, which I've explained many times. We've defeated the Shaolong Gui and the Longi. Pretty much, if you're a trophy hunter at this stage, the only thing that remains is to farm CP points. You can do that by either taking out, equipping the growth egg, taking out Longuis, that kind of thing. There's so many ways to do it. You can do that. You're going to need to obviously get pretty much millions of CP points to level up all the way. But if you watch the speed run, that 18-hour speed run, the guy seems to increase everyone to maximum CP points in like an hour and a half or something. Honestly, it boggles my mind. But I'm pretty sure he does Adamantoise farming. So not Longui farming, but Adamantoise farming to do it. So that's one thing you need to do. Second thing is to get the item collector or treasure hunter trophy or whatever the hell it's called. That is something you'll need a guide for. You need to have a list of everything you can collect and what to dismantle, what to upgrade, what items to buy, what to sell, etc, etc. So that's something that you'll have to deal with at that time as well. They're the kind of things I'm not interested in. I mean, for me, that's just a pointless trophy. Let's say you had to defeat an enemy to win the item necessary, then yeah, cool, I'll go ahead and fight that enemy. But this is just kind of menu work, really, in order to get a trophy, and I don't really care much for that. But I'm just like giving you guys an idea of how much CP you really need to maximize everyone's roles in everything. So it's going to take a very long time. Primary roles, I mean, we've got to the end of most of those anyway, but even with secondary roles, once you get to the higher levels, you start to get like 30,000, 60,000, and you have to do this for like 3 or 4 extra levels. So you can just see it's going to be a very long job. So that's it. It's been another very long playlist. There's not too much I can do about that, but I kept to my promise. I did no grinding. This is all just, I think within the space of 13 hours, I ended up completing everything. So I'm fairly happy with that. Of course, it's not a speed run. As I mentioned, these guys can do it in stupidly fast times, but considering that I did no extra CP grinding or anything like that, I'm quite happy. I did no extra item farming. I didn't bother with that. I just showed you guys the trapezohedron during chapter 11, and that was it. So yeah, I think it all ended up pretty well. So thank you all for watching. Sticking with me for a long playlist, but the views have been pretty good. You guys didn't let me down, so that's kind of motivated me to keep going. And Final Fantasy XIII 2, although I don't love it, I ended up appreciating Final Fantasy XIII more the second time I played it. Maybe 13.2 will have a similar effect, and maybe it might not end up being so bad. Because with 13.2 last time I just took the main route. I didn't do any of the side paths or anything like that. So we'll see how that all goes. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon in another commentary playthrough. Take care.